Live with new, never before reported details in the Pinyon Pines triple murder case. KMIR has obtained internal sheriff's documents, and they're raising more questions about how this case was investigated from the very beginning.
This is what the Friedley family home looked like after 3 people were killed here on the night of September 17, 2006, then set on fire. Vicki Friedley and her boyfriend John Hayward were found shot and killed and burned beyond recognition. 18-year-old Becky Friedley was found smoldering in a wheelbarrow in the yard. Robert Pape and Kristen Smith have been arrested for the crime. It took 7.5 years to make these arrests, and we can now show you the evidence police had against them and when. KMIR has obtained internal Sheriff's Department documents revealing many specifics of the case. These are dated August 2009. They include the fact Robert Pape was initially interviewed by police the day after the murders. The Sheriff Department states on the night of the murders, Pape claims he and Smith hung out and drove to several places in Cathedral City. He initially said he was nowhere near the area of Highway 74, the route to Pinyon Pines, at any time on the date of the murders. But when confronted with information of his cell phone pinging in that area, he says he wasn't certain how far or where he and Kristen drove that night. It wasn't until a whole year later that Pape and Smith were again detained, their homes searched. Inside, shotguns were found. John Hayward was killed with a 12-gauge shotgun. The holster and casings for a .40 caliber Glock handgun were also found. Vicki Friedley died from a .40 caliber gunshot wound. While detained, Smith told investigators he had never been to the Friedley home, yet his fingerprint was found on a business card laying near the wheelbarrow where Becky Friedley's body was found. We can now tell you that card was a pro-life Catholic Charities card. These documents also state Javier Garcia Jr., a friend of the youngest victim, quote, would appear to be the best source of information for the investigation. His cell records were obtained by police and show he was driving in the area of the Friedley home the night of the murders, but they virtually exclude him as being in the areas of the homicides at the time they occurred. KMIR has also obtained this chat log between Robert Pape and Sarah. We cannot confirm this is his wife, Sarah Pape. Here, Pape tells Sarah regarding a cheating boyfriend she had, quote, if you know where he lives, we can professionally burn down his house. Sarah replies, that's right, you're a little pyro. Pape also writes in regard to his chores and his mother, I'm going to shoot her, and later types, I'm going to kill my family. These documents also state Javier Garcia Jr., quote, became uncooperative with investigators under advice from his father. You'll recall, Garcia's father is a senior investigator within the district attorney's office.
These documents also question whether Javier Garcia Jr. should be granted immunity by the district attorney's office. The question is, immunity for what? Coming up at 6, I sat down today with Paul Zellerbach, the Riverside County District Attorney. I asked him about possible problems with the Pinyon Pines investigation and whether he held off on prosecuting this case until now, an election year. His reaction is coming up new tonight, only right here on your KMIR News at 6.